Good morning, bless the Lord. December 15th, 2017. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. New day. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy countdown to 2018. Just checking in this morning, see how you're doing, and to find out what are those things that you have already begun to implement into your life. Amen. Scheduling, to-do lists, getting done, getting started. What have you begun to do that you feel encouraged that it's not something that I need to wait till January to add to my life? What are some things that you have begun to do? And you know, there are some spiritual things we need to do, and there are some natural things that we need to do. We definitely, I hope at this point we are all giving God glory each day for the blessings that He's bestowed upon us, starting us day, opening our eyes to see a new day. You know, those basic things. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing, man? Love you too, brother. You know, reading our word. Hopefully that's a integral part of your daily, if not weekly life. Prayer and fasting, those are all things that I think that we all can improve on. But just some of the fellowship. Of course, I know we go to church, but I'm talking about living the life that you portray at church, living that on your day-to-day life. You know, we're talking about ways of living, not just facades for a few hours, and not just spiritually, but also naturally. You know what do you need to get done? What do you need to be more consistent with? If you're a student, are you knocking out the schoolwork? If you want to make better grades, are you putting more time in? What are the things necessary that you know you need to do that you can start with now? If you're a worker, you need to get to work on time. You need to leave earlier. You want to stay later. You want to get promoted. You know, what are the things that you can identify that you need to do to move to the next step? Those are the things that are important. If you're trying to write a book, you got to start with the first page. You got to start with the first word, first chapter. Even if you don't have a title, you have to start somewhere. And from there, you got to add to it and be consistent with it. You know, as I said yesterday, you know, the thing about resolutions, you know, every year is that they're like a fad. You know, we start them out. Good morning, Renell. How you doing today? You know, we start out with these things, but we lose steam, right? If there's something on your heart that you really want to do, I mean, it's more than just, well, you know, I want to experience making a snow angel. You know, that's something super basic, but I'm talking about something that is really in your heart that you want to accomplish. Then you have to find that strength to be able to continue on. And you know, the reality is a lot of us need help to be encouraged and to help us stay on course, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with having encouragement. I talked a few weeks or months back about, you know, if you have questions, then don't feel bad about Renell, you too funny. If you need help, it's okay to ask questions. It's, you know, and the same thing. If you need help with anything that you're trying to accomplish, let me tell you, good people, it's nothing wrong with asking someone to help you. It's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you want to, I always go back to the workout example. You know, brothers and sisters, if you're in the gym, you know, and you can lift 50 pounds, but, you know, you want to get up to lifting 100 pounds and then 150 pounds, you know, you can't really hang with people that's only lifting 30 pounds or people that's only lifting 50 and they're not interested in lifting anything more than that, because you're not going to have any encouragement. Where's your motivation? If you, and I'm talking about for those who need extra motivation and stimulation, which is okay, again, it's totally fine. You need to hang around people that's lifting 60 pounds, 75, 100. That's going to motivate you, number one, to see that, you know what, this can be done. And you know what, those people, more than likely, it's going to be people in those areas that can encourage you to do it as well. Because you know what? Everybody didn't start out lifting 100 pounds. Everybody didn't start out lifting 50 pounds. You have to start somewhere. And then you need to surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do. Amen? Well, you can't say, well, you know what? They already lifted 100 pounds. It's been proven to be done. There's no need for me to try to do it. No, that's the wrong attitude. Because you have something that you want to do. And until you do it, you're not going to have peace. And it's about having peace, right? You're not going to find any satisfaction. And again, hopefully it's not coming from a place of comparison, but it's coming from a place of, you know what, I'm in the gym, I'm getting stronger, and I want to continue to get stronger because it's just a good thing for my own bodily health. That's coming from a great place. So don't put yourself in a position to be comparing to anyone. Do the things that are on your heart. It's absolutely fine. And not just working out. That was just an extremely basic example. But from writing books to, I don't know, what do you want to do? Tell me, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to run a marathon? I really have a lot of respect for people that run those marathons, but I have zero desire to run a marathon because I hate cardio. I don't have a problem running. It's just I'm not passionate about running like some people that I know. They love to run, and it really does something for them on the inside, and that's a beautiful thing. And this goes back again to what I talked about, the picture that you're painting for your life. What are you painting that's specific to your canvas, the canvas that you're painting on? What makes that picture beautiful for you? You have to be able to identify that, because the colors that I'm going to use and how I'm going to combine those and the shapes and the things that I'm going to form on my canvas are going to look different than the ones that you're going to form on your canvas. And that's totally okay. But again, you need to know, how do you want your picture to look? That's very important. It's very important. If you're trying to paint like me, you're going to be frustrated because a number of reasons. You might not have the same color palette as I have, and you may not have the same tools. You may not have the same brushes that I have. So when you try to emulate what I'm doing, it may become similar, but it may not. It's not going to be the exact same thing. And because it's not the exact same thing, you may be frustrated about it. Finishing the book that I started. Experiencing writing block at the moment. Yes, Renell. How long ago have you started that book? And is there an end time? Is there a completion date? You know what I mean? That's a great point that she brings up here about her idea of wanting to finish the book that she started. Another thing I would add to that is that, give yourself a time frame. When you have open-ended projects, it might be a little bit harder to see those things come to fruition because, why? We have lives that we're living, families, jobs, just social things that we're trying to accomplish, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have a number of things that we're trying to do. So it's good that if we can even just pencil in, they don't have to be concrete, but at least if we say, you know what, I'm going to give myself a year to finish my book. I'm going to give myself a year's commitment of changing my eating habits. I'm going to give myself a year's time of creating, I don't know, whatever it is. I'm going to give myself a year's time on my job to learn every single thing about my role so that I can step up on the ladder to the next position. Giving yourself time. We talked about yesterday, having patience with yourself. That's extremely important as well. So, don't set yourself up for failure by saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn everything about my job in one day and then get promoted the day after the next. I don't know. In my experience, I've just found that time is an integral part to things that we are trying to do for a number of reasons. One, there are things that we need to learn about just what we're doing. Two, there are things that we learn about ourselves in a process, which is extremely important. So as I'm encouraging you these last 31 days of December to just implement things that you are wanting to do now. January is not promised again. New Year's resolutions, Nah, let's not have New Year's resolutions. Let's have lifestyle changes. Let's begin doing those things that we really want to do now. Because there's really no, what really is holding us up from doing those things that we want to do? And my screen just got really dark here, but bless the Lord. So, 31 days of encouragement to begin those things that you want to do. And not just begin them, put some starts and some end dates to those things. That's okay. Pencil those in, because I understand that life comes up and we might need to push those things back a week or a day or a month or what have you. But at least we have begun to make more forward progress on the things that we have begun to do. And moving forward is important. The unfortunate thing about resolutions is, we get to start these resolutions. We go buy all this gym equipment, and I'm just using gym equipment. No offense to anyone in particular, but I'm using gym equipment as my primary example, because you see the commercials every year. You see the ads for free memberships and get your body in shape like never before. Do it this year. And it comes around year after year after year, because it's something that's a very real struggle. So I'm just encouraging you to maybe look at the things that you want to accomplish, look at them a little differently to see how you can actually get them accomplished. Because if you're trying to eat the whole cake at one time, you're gonna waste a lot. You might get a little bit of the food in your mouth, but you're gonna waste so much. So let's not waste time, let's not waste resources, and let's not waste energy on things that we really want to get done. So again, just going back to the workout example, and you can take this approach and apply it to anything that you want to do. Okay, working out. I want to get in shape. Okay, I want to increase muscle mass. I want to lose fat. I want to gain strength. I'm not going to set myself up for failure by saying I'm going to go in, I'm going to lift 300, 400 pounds every day, and I'm not going to eat any junk food. I'm not going to do that to myself. First of all, I can't lift 400, I can't lift 300 pounds. I have to start where I can and set up. Good morning, Jerry. I haven't seen you in a while, my brother. How you been? I'm going to set up realistic goals for myself. And realistic doesn't mean easy, but realistic means something that I can experience some success, but I'm also going to be challenged in that. Okay? So how does that look? That looks like this. Okay, I'm going to have me a year plan of a workout regimen. Okay, my goal is to get to 450 pounds by the end of the year. Okay, so if I'm giving myself a year time, okay, and I'm probably only going to go to the gym maybe four times a week. But if I just say every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you know what, 30 minutes, I think that's something that I can commit to. And again, not setting yourself up for failure. It is my advice to start on the lower end, because you can only go up from there. 30 minutes goes by in a flash. So if I'm at the gym hitting 30 minutes, the first couple days, first couple weeks, like, man, looking at the clock, checking the clock, oh man, it's only been 20 minutes, it's been 15 minutes. But you know what, I can keep going. I think I can get this done. You get a month in, a month and a half, you're not even looking at the clock, and next thing you know, you're doing 35, 40 minutes. That's a great thing. Stay with that. Don't jump off the deep end and say, you know what, I'm gonna start doing 2 hours. Stay with that, because consistency is very important. Consistency is the most beneficial thing to anything you're going to try to do. Being consistent and intentional about your work ethic is extremely important. So long story short, in terms of this, 30 minutes, 3 times a day, pushing yourself, getting used to being in that environment is also another thing. It's a total different mindset. Strangers there, you probably have your headphones on, there's no one to talk to unless you start up a conversation, but that's okay. Apply the same start small principle to everything else you're trying to do. I'm telling you, it can get done. It can get done. Renell shared starting a book. Let's do one sentence. Let's start with one sentence. Or if the idea isn't there, let's start out with brain dumping those ideas. Okay, you know what? I probably want to have 12 chapters, 10 chapters. 10 chapters. Let me write down chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bam, I'm done. That's progress. Why? Why is that progress? I haven't wrote any content. Well, it's progress because you know how many chapters you want to get done. You know what I mean? So there is a approach that you can take to anything that you're trying to do. I encouraged you guys probably a month or so back that find the positive in whatever it is you're doing. If you can find the positive in what you're doing, then you can move forward. And forward progress is important. I talk a lot about people. If you're struggling with people on your job, as I'm sure we all have that testimony in some fashion or another, if you're trying to have a better relationship with people, or just, curbing back the sarcasm or whatever the issue may be that you want to improve, that you have identified. Again, step one, identify those things that you want to improve. Identify those things that you want to implement. We're not waiting till January because, again, we know why. Can we all say it as a choir? Because we're not promised to see January. Bless the Lord. So, check this out. If you're trying to figure out how can I have better relationships with these people at my job, in my community, in my home, step one, close your mouth and listen to what people are saying. Listen to the heart of what they are saying. That's important because, someone can say something that you really don't appreciate. But it could be, if you listen to the heart of what they're saying, they could be coming from a hurt place. That's a very real thing. They could be coming from a hurt place. So knowing that is important because, again, we're trying to get some things accomplished, but we're not trying to be out of character. You know what I mean? So there's a balancing act to what we have going on, and we can't lose perspective of that as people who are professing to be children of God. Amen? Amen. So, quiet, listen to what people are saying, and ask the Lord how to respond, and tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to respond better to people. You know what? Tell yourself that. Start with that before you enter into any type of conversation. You know what? I'm going to listen. And all of this conversation is going on in your head. You're talking to yourself, which is fine. Okay? It's something healthy about talking to yourself to a degree. Okay? Bless the Lord. So you're gonna tell yourself these things. And you know what? Even before you actually get to the conversation, driving into work, you're going to get out the car. You know what, Courtney? Be patient with people today. Listen to what they have to say. And think about what they've said before you respond. Starting there is a great place. That right there will end a number of altercations in terms of the conversation that you're having. So if you can do that, I guarantee you'll see improvements in the conversations that you're having with people that you might not like. Let's real talk. I'm sure you don't like every person that you come in contact with, just for a number of reasons. You guys don't, maybe you don't like any of the same things. Maybe you don't like the way they carry themselves. Maybe they don't like the way you carry yourself. Maybe they don't like the way you do your job. Maybe you don't like the way they do their job. It doesn't mean that you can't have a respectful adult relationship, which is important, especially when we're talking about careers. You've got to be able to manage relationship with people if you're trying to move forward in your career. That's just smart business right there. Amen. And it's just good character to be able to get along and be respectful to people that you disagree with, or you just don't get along with. And there's no harm, there's no foul in that. And you have to know that and be okay with that. Bless the Lord. All right, so, guys, let me know, and if there's any particular things that you're struggling with, I really want to pray with you guys. I want to pray for you guys. I want to see you guys move forward. So as always, if you want to share to the world things that you want to improve on, then that's absolutely welcome. Bless the Lord. This is a safe space, at least with me, to get you guys moving forward. Even on today, bless the Lord. I know it's cold outside, and again, you know, if you can be stopped, you will be stopped. It's cold outside, but does that mean that your life has to stop? I don't know. You know, a very good friend of mine goes to work every day, and it doesn't matter what the weather is. I have great respect for my brother. He happened to be the husband of Mrs. Walls here. So you know what? You have to do what you have to do. You got to do what you got to do. And I want to help you get to the point where you want to be. Why? Because it makes you happier. It makes you a more happy person, in my opinion. You know, when I get the things done that I want to do, it makes me feel better. You know, when I procrastinate on things, and you know what, I have this list of things that I've been putting off. You know, I'm like, Courtney, come on, let's get this done so that you can move on to other things. Because a number of those things, you know, we can have, let's say we have 10 things. Some of those things, maybe 8 or 9, if you have a list that's prioritized, you can't really get to number 10 until you do the first 9. If you have a list of least to greatest in terms of importance. So you definitely want to move through those things that you want to get done. Because, you know, we don't want to be looking at the same list of 10 things forever. You know, that, to me, if you have the same list of 10 things that has no movement, no productivity, then that means that you haven't moved forward. You're sort of just spinning your wheels, so to speak. And that's not something you want to do. Because why? We get older every day, you know, not just say every year we get older, but every day we're aging, and, you know, life is going by. And as we mature in different areas, we start to want to experience different things in our lives, and that's a good thing. But, you know, sometimes some of those things that we want to experience, we have to qualify for. And if you haven't done those prerequisite things in your life to get to a certain point, then you're sort of behind the game. You know, if I can compare this to a ball game or a championship, you know, I can't go to the championship until I have the best record in the regular season. And then I still can't go to the championships until I get past the first round, second round, and the third round of the playoffs. Then I qualify to go to the big dance at the end. So, you know, again, looking at that list of things you got to do, that's a good thing, you know, but let's start chipping away at those things. And hopefully that last analogy encourages you to know that, you know what, waiting until January is probably not in my best interest. Because guess what? When the new year rolls around, there are going to be new ideas and new creations and new thoughts about just other things that come up that you probably want to entertain. So if you're carrying baggage, you're carrying undue projects, whatever, fill in the blank, uncompleted tasks into the new year, that probably putting you behind. So homework, look at the past 2 years, and if you can just jog your brain, get out your legal pad, your iPhone, your Android, your notepad, whatever. I want you to do this for yourself. Write down all the things that you said that you wanted to, or even you thought about accomplishing, and find out what the percentage of things that you've accomplished have been. And think about the things that you want to do for the new year, whether it's personal or family or what have you. If I know you and I know people, there's something you want to do. There's something you want to do. So let's get those things done. Let's start to chip away. Now, lastly, before I leave you, we're not getting in bondage here, okay? Again, all these points that I give you, you got to figure out how to balance them, you know. And when I say you're not getting in bondage about things that you want to get done, it's because you got to have patience with yourself. patience with yourself while challenging yourself to move forward. Bless the Lord. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Happy Friday. Have a great day.